Wayfair Professional, we work with a lot of builders in everything from your design concept for model homes all the way through installation. We have a full team of interior designers, and I'm going to share some of their work that they've done in the space. So work with a lot of home builders, a lot of multifamily as well, and this is a top request from pretty much everyone in the new home building space. So I'll pop through some of these. So these are just some different examples that our team has put together on different types of best practices. This one is in a communal space, and I wanted to include this because there'll be a lot of parallels in what we are saying and what David had said, but there's going to be more than one member of a family that is likely going to need access to an office, and not forgetting about those, stay-at-home school days where they're schooling from home, or if there's a second, adult within the family that needs a space and you only have one dedicated office. There's really great ways to incorporate a working space into a communal space as a design. The key to this is making sure you consider the functionality of needing the right tech, needing the right plugs in the right places, and kind of thinking about how you want to position those elements. The other piece is making sure to, if you're in your living room and you look over at your office, you want it to be well decorated and organized. So having the organization and storage space for everything, but also, as you can see here, the plants and having those different elements. So we have a couple different examples of this particular space. To add on to, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name, but to add on to your point, we actually stole this, or took this image from one of them because we didn't steal it, sorry.
We borrowed.
We took this from a presentation that we gave to a customer, all of these are. But this desk is facing a window, and that is such a key piece to be able to leverage, one, the natural lighting that's in the space, in addition to the task and ambient lighting that you're seeing. But it provides for just a natural escape to be able to just take a break and have some positivity, look out the window, and refresh a little bit. So not only is this in a communal space, but it also allows for that element of feeling like you're outdoors. You will notice in the seating here as well, John really wanted me to focus on the ergonomic seating because that is very important in the office space when it is a functional office. Everything that you're seeing here, or for the most part what you're seeing here, is what we've put together for model homes or model units. And we typically will use a little bit different type of soft seating here, as it just kind of shows better when you're walking through those. Creative spaces as well. You can do this as, a side table. This is a desk that was set up. I believe this was, maybe a smaller unit where it was set up as a side table, but really great. And a lot of times we're doing this in children's bedrooms and such to show that they can, have, homework and work from home environment. Hopping to this one, what I really liked about this, again, sometimes you don't have that private office space, but if you look at the actual bird's eye view here, you can see there's a little nook in the corner. It's a little bit private, not totally, but it has its own space in the corner where they were able to repurpose it for a desk. It allows, you can do different types of barriers. There are, on one of these slides, I'll show you there's sound walls that you can put up to try to make it more private. But again, when it's kind of a secondary office, this is a really great way to do that.
Ellie, I think for this space, furniture and the space really need to be thought through concurrently. We need concurrent engineering of the furniture in the room, right? And that's not the norm for most of the rooms in a house. And do you feel that way as a builder?
I'm fortunate in one way because I have access to a custom cabinet shop. So sometimes we can design and make something to fit any space. So we don't look at it that way necessarily, but I think it is great to try and bring your designer in right away with the plan and try and make sure that you're creating, the most appropriate space and flow that you can.
I mean, because that office furniture is kind of purpose-built, right? So if you're putting big plans out or you're a graphic designer, you're gonna need different kind of desk space. You gotta have the power in the right spots. So This is a different animal. And now I
Yeah.
realize why we invited you to be on this
Well, there we
panel.
go. I think this is a really great example of it as well. A lot of the builders we work with are building office spaces as small as 60 square feet, which works, and it's very much like the barn door. You can close it
Correct,
off.
yep.
It creates a privacy space, but as long as you plan for it and it's not an afterthought. So as long as you're thinking through the outlet placement, the lighting, the sound barriers, and this is a great example of it. This one is actually in a closet. But is it properly furnished and properly accessorized, where you have artwork behind the desk because there isn't a window there? A lot of times we'll do nature type of artwork in those spaces so that it does create a similar feel to having a window there. But this is a great example of using space very wisely. And then last one that is kind of in the more communal space until we get into the private offices. This is what we call a lofts, a loft in an office, a great space. Again, if you have someone who works from home periodically versus wanting to have that dedicated space, they can take this as both a gaming room for the kids as well as an office space for the adults. Great example here as well of the natural artwork, an outdoor image to try to add a little depth to a room that doesn't currently have a window in it. I'm pretty sure while looking at the very tiny floor plan there. But we do see a lot of these as well in model homes and trying to show different, functionalities of the spaces. Oh, I lied. There's one more of the
Bonus.
double bonus slide on before we get to the private working space. But this one as well, again, a parallel to what you're speaking to, but a movable desk versus a built-in. We do see a lot of dual working spaces. There's different ways we can try to make this a little bit more manageable if both are on the calls. We have different panels that can go up as far as like their pin boards, but they're also sound absorption. Really important to consider flooring as well. A lot of times the homes are going to be completely LVP or completely wood flooring, and that's not very great for sound absorption. So throwing in a really thick pile rug is also a really great way to try to get the best out of the space. Now we'll jump into some of the private office spaces and what we're seeing a lot more with some of the luxury homes that we're working on. So love this office. I love everything about it. I love the natural lighting, the ambient lighting. It's got the task lighting as well. It has the soft space in the background, or the soft seating in the background. It's got the great gallery wall. It kind of thinks of all of the different elements that you're going to want in your work from home sanctuary. Considering we used to have, half an hour to an hour commute to work, we had some time to unwind, we had some time to relax and change our mindset from work to home, and we don't have that anymore. It's really great to have some other elements, such as soft seating in the background, where you can relax, where you can step away from your desk and relax a little bit before transitioning to home life from work life. And so we're seeing a lot of that, and being able to put that story together is really important for a lot of the clients that we work with. The wainscoting, we're seeing this come up quite a bit. I have this in my office. I absolutely love it, and I get compliments on it all the time. It's great for the Zoom background. It just shows a little bit more luxury, a little bit more features. The paneling as well, we're seeing a lot of this come back. So very simple, even if it's not in like the build phase, it's something that, we do like stick-ons for it.
I didn't know you offered that, so that's awesome.
Yeah, yes. So this is something that's fun, that's popped up. Love this one as well. We've touched on a lot of the elements. It is a very ergonomically friendly chair. This is one of our partners' pictures, actually. She is not sitting in a very ergonomically friendly way, but it is a great seat. I love the soft seating in the background. They have that kind of side sanctuary area. This is the on wheels, the sound panel, pin board. These are very popular. They're the ones on the wall as well. I love the picture that you put together. You can put them into very creative, fun, designs. But this one is kind of more of a functional, and it can become a space separator. So, and then she's also got the paneling on the wall, and I just really like this particular image. We're seeing a lot with wallpapering as well. So if you're looking to get into like kind of a next level on the design piece. This one also has really great lighting, but great way to just kind of enhance the design within an office space. And then storage and organization
Seems
is
so
huge.
bold.
That
It seems that
This one?
Wallpaper?
from a fashion perspective, I mean, are we going that bold in actually
Many
trying to make
models that we
statements
do
in the
are.
offices now?
Yes,
That's not
yes,
generic.
we are seeing this quite a bit. I don't know if you guys are getting similar requests, but within our design team, across a lot of our models,
I've seen it in our
we're
private
getting
homes.
into. Yeah,
I get twitchy as a builder because like I'm a kid of the 70s and 80s, so I'm like,
You know how it
I
is.
spent a lot of my life ripping wallpaper off the wall, so I'm like, I really don't want to go back to that, but yeah.
It really can, and this is a very bold design. This particular pattern is very bold, but it adds a lot to a room. It adds a lot of depth. It adds a lot of character, and it really fits in with what a lot a buyers need.
I mean, I like it. It jumped out, and I just think of like the generic, boring LinkedIn images, and this is just
Yeah, well,
grabs you,
Yeah.
you know? We got to make
we're
statements.
here to brighten things up a
Yeah.
bit. And then storage. Storage is huge. This one kind of double plays here as being a great aesthetically pleasing piece in the background. It's got storage. It's got the open kind of design elements and a great zoom background. So we really like that image as well. Same thing here. Again, you have your soft seating to the side. You kind of have your little reading nook, but then you have your space where you're actually sitting down to work. Just kind of highlighting some of the elements that we talked through here. So the ergonomics is going to be huge. The sit-to-stand desks, I didn't have a lot of these in images because we're not doing them a lot within our model homes, but for practical uses, it's key. Having that sit-to-stand, I love having that. And then just kind of showing the different accessories that it's okay to put these types of things into models as well to really show the functionality of like, here's how you will be connected and it's not something you need to worry about. And here's where your plugs will go and it'll kind of hide those other, nobody wants to see wires everywhere. So being able to have those different accessories.
Well, we got to think through on the accessories, where those displays and such are going, right?
Yes.
Because we got windows, and do we want a display in front of a window or not? So that is the hand-in-glove design of the furnishings, the active technology components, and the room. It all has to be kind of done concurrently.
I agree. Again, talk through the different acoustics and elements that you can use to try to drown out sound. I have 2 very little children. I have 2 very large dogs. And I think John's met all of them on calls that we've had. But again, the acoustic panels are great. They can add a design element to it as well. The textiles, such as the soft seating, which not only gives you kind of that sanctuary within the office space, but also, it is a good sound absorption tool. And then the sound making machines, the white noise, the gray noise, those we've seen as well start to be a little bit more popular as we're trying to make spaces work for work from home. And then lighting, we've all touched on lighting a lot, so I'm not gonna get too deep into this, but we like to try to incorporate natural task and ambient lighting in all of our different designs to allow for the different fluctuations that a home buyer would need within sitting in those office spaces. Decor, one of our favorite things at Wayfair, obviously. My favorite is honestly the greenery, the natural. We do sell live plants. I didn't even know this
I
until
killed
recently.
one of your live plants.
know, I
I've
did
already
too.
killed one.
I did too. I ran one over with my car, so another story.
just-
But
You do a whole
I
topic.
just dried it out.
We just
but it
dried
helps
that.
with air quality, and it's just kind of nice. Like it's a nice decor element to have in any space indoors. Personal touches, we've done these a lot in model homes where we'll have photos of faux children and then have children's bedrooms for same children that are on on desks or on different photo elements throughout the model homes. So, and then organization, we've already touched on that piece as well. And then resources, I think everyone will receive a copy of this if there are a lot of different resources that we pulled from on here. So I'm gonna just,
Can you just
through that
give
one.
them a little bit of an idea of
Yeah.
the resources you have on the design side of things? Because I don't think that would come through when people hear a Wayfair radio spot or see a
Yeah.
commercial. Because we talked to your designer there, Aaron, who's been designing office environments for years, and like, just give us a little quick rundown on that. 'cause
Sure. So we have a couple different interior design teams within our Wayfair Professional arsenal, I'll say. We have different teams that focus on specifically designing office spaces, specifically designing model homes or model units, clubhouses or outdoor spaces, and then we have those that focus more in hospitality, ADA compliant spaces, whether it be food service or hotel services. So we have a large team that is able to sit down with you and do a personalized consultation of walking through your design plan. And when I say walking through, I mean virtually walking through. Everything is done behind computers, but we have a pretty in-depth team there that's able to help with that.
Right. And you, from a brand and furniture quality standpoint, you do range into the luxury heights, right? You're not
Yes.
just a middle market furnishing.
That's actually a great question, and I should have included, instead of having Wayfair Professional
I'm here
on
to
here.
throw the softball.
Yes, thank you. Wayfair is kind of known as like this everything for everyone type of brand, but we do have a luxury line. It's called Paragold. Paragold.com is part of the Wayfair Professional experience. So once you're logged into a Wayfair Professional account, which if you don't have one, you can reach out to me. But Paragold is a very high luxe brand that we use within our luxury designs.
Very cool.